Hi, and welcome to SoccerBeat. It's me, Peter du Toit, and I've got my man, Cheezboy Mokoena here. And we've got a great show waiting for you. We're first going to talk about Stellenbosch, their fantastic win over Mamelodi Sundowns. And we'll also talk about Sundowns. The Chiefs fans and the Pirates fans are rubbing their hands with joy, saying this is the end of Mamelodi Sundowns, but I'm not so sure about that. And then we'll also talk about Pirates, who fantastic victory at home with a magnificent crowd against Cape Town City. And a very tough game to win anyway. They did it very well. But, Cheese, what I'm going to say to you is put this into kind of context.
Yeah.
A lot of people are writing Sundowns off, especially non-Sundowns fans, and some Sundowns fans are unhappy as well. What I'm going to say to you, we'll discuss it later, you write Mamelodi Sundowns off at your peril. You write them off at your peril. One swallow doesn't make a summer. The second thing I want to talk about is Stellenbosch, and then we'll talk about Pirates as well. If you look at Stellies, let's give credit where credit's due. An incredible performance, home and away, but literally 2 away games. Where do you see what makes this team that every season they sell their best players, and they come back actually getting better and better every season? So despite selling players, and why can they do it and not other teams? Let us know. Tell me.
Yeah, well, I start off greetings to the viewers at home. What a blockbuster of games we had this weekend, but starting off with Stellies, shout out to Steve Barker and the team, but what the main point that you just asked now is how do they do it? I mean, they got a beautiful development structure that they work on, and it's like they always build these man machine, that's there, all hard workers. They need to really go out to the market to buy players. They get from the MDCs, all these unknown players, they groom them really well. So it shows you that behind the scenes, in terms of their youth, they're doing a really fantastic job. I think a shout out to the youth development coaches that are giving Steve Barker all these quality, good players that are showing up now, to say, what, we are also here to make a name for ourselves. So, yeah, big up to Stellies.
So I'll tell you what I believe the situation is at why they do so well. Cheese and to all the guys out there. It's a very simple thing. When I look at Stellenbosch, they've got 6 golden rules. 6 golden rules. Rule number 1, planning. Rule number 2, planning. Rule number 3, planning. Rule number 4, preparation. Rule number 5, preparation. Rule number 6, preparation. They know beforehand which players are going to leave, and they've got the replacements ready. The club owners have confidence and put support behind the coach. They don't spend big money. And they build a team. You use the word there. If you look at Stellenbosch, they're a team of men.
Yes.
There's no boys there. You can come into the team at 18, you're a man. That's fans out there. Stellenbosch is a perfect example of a team of men. And a team of men, they combine, they support each other off the ball, they run for each other off the ball, they understand what it's like to be a team, and to be a proper team in this big league and beat teams like Sundowns, you've got to be men. And they've got that right. And I tell you what, where they came last season was not a fluke. And don't be surprised if they challenge even stronger this season. But let's turn to Pirates. A question I want to ask you. It's your old team. Do you think Pirates have got, they're going to be in the final. They're going to play Stellenbosch. We won't talk about that game right now. We'll talk about it closer to the date. If you look at Pirates right now, and it's early days, they look like they could be a team that can seriously challenge Sundowns, especially after what we've seen of Sundowns, challenge Sundowns seriously for the league title. They look like the only team that, besides maybe Stellies, but they look like a team that can genuinely challenge Sundowns. Do you think they can, first of all?
Yeah, well, Amaparani are red hot. Abayashis, they are very, very hot. They're on fire, I think this season is their season, I think they can also see it themselves, looking at the opposite team on the other side that, hey, these guys are a bit shaky. So this is our opportunity. They started off well, they're scoring goals, you can see the supporters are even filling up the stadium. It just shows that everybody's starting to believe now at Pirates that it is possible for them to actually win this league, And in terms of the depth of the squad, they got, you saw when they brought on Mahopa, they made good quality changes that still came in and still kept the game as it was. I think Coach Rivera has got a good thing going there, and I think he's got a solid squad which he could rotate any players anytime.
So the interesting thing, if I look at Pirates, I agree with you. They've got strength in depth throughout that whole team. They've got, for every position, they've got somebody who could replace them with one with one question mark over that. If I look at the goalkeeper, he's probably the best keeper in the league right now. Williams has been out. He's improved dramatically. He's top class. The two centre backs look very, very, very capable together at the back. The two fullbacks, especially Hotto, are dangerous going forward. Now that the coach has put in a holding midfielder alongside Buther, they've got they look with Cash there or Tim. They're looking more solid. I'm glad you listened to Seppo and yourself from last week's episode. The two wingers. What I like about Saleng and the youngster Mofokeng and Vieira looks like he could be a similar kind of player. They can go past players easily. They cut in dangerously, but they can also go wide. They score goals and they make goals and they get crosses in. And they create a lot of space by hanging wide for Tito. And I don't know what you say, Cheese. For me, Tito, when he plays, that whole team will play. And he's crucial for them this season.
Yeah, he's very crucial. He's like one of the key players for them this season. Hopefully he does not get injured, because I seriously don't see anybody filling in that position, because Tito is an exciting player. He brings the team to life. He starts up the moves and stuff. So if they lose a player like Tito, it's going to be really difficult for them for the season. But as I said, that they've got the depth in the squad. Maybe they've also got somebody in the pipeline that's ready to fill up those shoes in case they do lose Tito. But of course, Pirates is a big team. It's not a one-player team, So I think other players are also waiting on the sidelines to say, Coach, I'm also ready if needed, So solid performance by Pirates. I love the centre backs. China was excellent. I love the way he has improved in terms of the build-up play. He's passing the ball. He's shortening the field. And he's got two good centre backs there, of which Nda hits those lovely diagonal balls. I saw a lot of those diagonal balls from Sesani, from Nda. If they play on the right-hand side, try and get Mofokeng on a 1v1. Like you're saying, the wingers are very quick. They can take you to the cleaners, So that was the game plan against a City, and it worked for them. Take the team to the one side, then switch it direct to the other winger to give him a 1v1 opportunity. Once he takes on the fullback, he just needs to put the ball in the box, and I think that's how Pirates have excelled thus far, they're very solid.
Correct, because by playing those long balls, diagonal balls, the wingers stay wide, they stretch the whole back four, and that actually gives Tito even more room, because their holding midfielder's got to tuck in to support the centre backs then as well. So it does give him more room. On that basis, Makocha was superb in the first game. I was quite surprised. I think Coach Tinkler played into Pirates' hands by taking him off, actually. What do you think?
That was a big loss for them. I don't know why Coach Tinkler took Mokojo off, because when Mokojo was there, it made it difficult for Tito to actually receive the ball between the lines. He actually made Tito drop deeper. That's where you want him. That's where he made the mistake in the last game. And when he gets there, he's not that dangerous. He's not that effective. But then as soon as you took him off, that's when you started to see Tito getting into those pockets, receiving the balls. So I think a bad call from the coach to remove Mkojo, maybe a bit of an emotional decision because they were chasing the game. Yeah, that was just not for me. Not a good decision by the coach to remove Mkojo. As for Mwaswangai, I saw him play a lot of one touch, two touches. Peter, did you notice that? I saw him control pass, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's still worried about that past mistake that he did in the last game. Maybe the coach gave him a word and said, try and play simple. But that's not his game. You want him in that last third. I think what he can improve on, just from me, just a bit of advice to him, if he can try and play further in the third half, he'll be much more effective in terms of dropping down to your central midfielders. Doesn't really give him, that he doesn't have the energy to actually move from there to join them into the box. If he receives it there, he's closer to goal. He can get fouls. He's got good vision. He can create. He's got good dribble,
And he'd be supporting Mabasa. Because sometimes
because at some point Mabasa is isolated. He's always supported by the wingers. It's either a Saleng or a Mofokeng. He's never really close to him, so that's something he can improve on.
When Mabasa comes deeper to play link, because he's very good at link-up play. If he comes deeper, it gives Tito a chance to actually get behind there as well. Because Tito's a good finisher and getting into the box late, which he did actually in the game against Supersport. He got into the box a few times as well. So one thing I like as well about the coach, he's been around enough time to understand our football. He understands the stadiums. He understands the opposition now. And he definitely understands the way Pirates want to play. And by making them safe at the back with playing two holding midfielders, or certainly one against smaller teams and maybe two against the bigger teams, I think he's got that right. Just going back to Tito, who do you see in that squad, if he's injured or off form, would replace him?
Hey, for now, I don't see anyone replacing him in that position. I know they got Kamvindi,
Kapinga.
they got Kapinga as well in that role. They have Dlamini also playing as a 10 there, but they don't have the same flair and the tenacity that thing he's got, that Maswangai has got. And he's a player that actually lifts up the crowd. I mean, he's the one that brings the energy into the team. So if you don't have that kind of a player, it is going to be a bit difficult. So I don't think there's anyone that will actually, fill in those shoes if he gets injured or he's out on suspension or any other reason, But yeah, it's going to be difficult.
He's also got a physical presence. I would have hoped that Kapinga would have been the guy to actually, but he hasn't done much since he left Leopards. There's one other question I got very briefly. They don't have a player who's in that team who's already won the league and somebody who really can drive them like a John Moeti type player. I'd like to have seen something like that in their team. I think that's probably lacking, but let's not discuss that. The one question is, do they have thing in them to kill off teams when they're 2-0 up, 3-0 up? Do you think they've got that in this team? Does that team got something to take this into a 4-5-0? Do you think they can kill teams off? I mean, only time will tell. Is there a key?
Time will tell, but if you look at their scoring ratio, I mean, Pirates scores in every game. It's either 1 goal or 2 goals. I think 3 goals sometimes. So I think that's something they can also improve on, but they haven't really done it because I can't really judge with these 2 games that I've just played. So going forward, I think they don't have that yet, but I think that's something they are going to work on because once they took the lead against, you could see they were still getting the chances, but they were not really clinical and finishing it off. Mufokeng rounded the keeper off nicely. Just a bit of composure there, boy. Empty net, just plug it in, just those little finer details that they need to fix, So I think it's something that will happen as we prolong into the season.
Cheese, final question before we take a quick break from our sponsors. If they get the killer instinct, will they win the league title this season?
For sure. If they get the killer instinct, it's going to Orlando. I think the mood is high. The fans, everywhere I go, the fans are like, this is our season. So if the fans can feel it, the players are feeling it. I've heard Hocho talk about it. I've heard Maela talk about it. So it means that's their goal. I mean, if they set goals before the season, so I think that's one of their targets.
Right, let's take a short break from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
To all our believers,
to the gunners of Kopona,
to our drivers at Stoker's Arms,
to the believers at the Brazen Head,
on Soweto,
to Langa,
to Kwamashu, and back.
We hear you.
Now hear us.
Siyabonga.
Thank you.
Betway, the official global betting partner of Arsenal.
Welcome back, guys. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And follow us all on our social media channels. And thank you to our sponsors, Betway. Mamelodi Sundowns lost 1-0 to Stellenbosch. Let's not take anything away from Stellenbosch. A fantastic performance and a good team. And Steve Barker's put a side there that I think could be a top 4 team and maybe even surprise with another cup victory. But let's look at Sundowns. A lot of criticism from their own fans, a lot of joy and laughter and teasing from the Chiefs fans and the Pirates fans. But seriously, it's MTN. A lot of people are saying they don't start well anyway. What would you say to that?
I would agree with that. But I think it's probably, it had happened before because I will say it from experience. I think when we were still under Coach Peter Musimane at that time, we also struggled a bit in terms of starting off the blocks in terms of the MTN 8, which is the first one that actually gets you ready for the season, and really never did well. And then Coach Peter tried to change that mentality. Say, guys, the first game is very, very important of the season. Doesn't matter whether it's a league or it's a cup. And then Coach Rulani also did the same thing. He also focused on those early games. That's why I think they became a bit more successful. Coach Mangoba, when he took over for that one season, he did not start off well. So I think it's just with Coach Mangoba that when he's in charge, the team hardly starts on a good note. And it's not good. It's not good because, I mean, the fans are used to a Sundown that starts off very nice off the blocks. So it's a different Sundowns this season. I think there's a bit of Sundowns is shaky. It's shaky. Yeah, it's freezing there. So they need to sort that out as soon as possible. But it's a team that you can't write off. I mean, big up to Stellis. They did their homework. Yeah, they were very compact. They good low block. They could play out. Sundowns need to fix their rest defense. They need to score. I don't know if people have known Sundowns hasn't scored in the last 3 games. It
On
was an
that
own goal
note,
against Polokwane. They never scored. So it's going to be a crisis. If goals are going to be an issue at Sundowns, then most def, there's no way they'll be challenging for the league this season, And by the time they catch up, I think other teams would have maybe taken off.
okay, that's very brave talk, Cheese. I'm going to come back to that. But talking about not scoring goals, the Brazilian striker they paid a lot of money for is not making much sales.
Aye. I call him the salesman. Salesman. No. He's not making enough sales, eh? But maybe
You're not
the
buying.
guy needs a bit of time. Maybe he needs a
Not
bit of
buying.
time.
Not buying. Look, I think he's coming to a Sundowns team at a difficult time. We need to give him more time, obviously. But he's running off the ball. I'm not too certain of. He doesn't get to far post or near post. But it's early days. He did make a nice opportunity for Kuritsani at the end with a very poor header. And if he got that header in with, I think it was about 5-7 minutes to go, that could have been a different story. One question, though, I'd be a little bit concerned if I was a Sundowns fan. They did seem to play very slowly and go a bit long. I hope that's not a new tactic.
I think it is a new tactic because in one of the interviews, Coach Mangoba actually said that he's not a fan of ball possession and keeping the ball. He prefers that quick route to goals. 6 seconds, they need to be there. So that's why I think this season we'll be seeing a lot of Sundowns hitting those helicopters, those flights, taking them down. I think that's why they brought the salesman there, of which I haven't seen him really, But like you said, he needs a bit of time. But there's a lot of changes in terms of the way Sundowns will be playing this season. I mean, you could just tell from these last 3 games that they will be going the long route. They will be crossing a lot because obviously they want to use the advantage of the tall striker. But I think it just goes with the coach's philosophy. I think Coach Mangoba's philosophy is actually try to get to the goals as quick as possible. So Sundown supporters, please, guys, just bear for the turbulence, guys. It's a bumpy ride for now. All that cheesecake, velvet cake, tikka taka, what. I think now you need to start now to understand that you're going to be going one route, and that route is going out wide, getting the Mashiko down the line, crossing the ball, hitting those long balls, maybe a bit of build up there and there. But if teams are gonna do what Stellies did, like I said in the last episode, that the tactics for this game, Coach Steve Barker is gonna press them from the top. And he did exactly that for the first 15 minutes so that he does not concede, let the game settle, just unsettle the Sundowns players. And he did exactly that, and it worked for them. I think it's a tip for the other teams in terms of how to approach the game against Sundowns. So, a bit of a challenge there at lockup. I think we're just waiting for those long balls this season.
Look, these defeats and with the new coaching team there, it's going to put pressure on the players and the coaches over the next couple of games, the first few league games. And if they don't go as well as they'd like them to, and the style is not the traditional Sundowns style, then there could be big pressure. But my message to you, after all you said, Cheese, and to all those people out there, you're right. Mamelodi Sundowns off at your peril. I look at that squad. There's quality players there. And I think if going long and the players aren't enjoying it, the players will sit down with the coach and say, listen, we want to go back to our original style. The fans will say that as well. Sundowns style is Sundowns style. And I hope they continue to play Sundowns style. But
and also Peter, like the body language of the Sundowns players, I could just tell with the body language that they just didn't want to win the game. I mean, Stellies wanted it more. You could just tell. And also it's a mental thing for the players. Change will always be there, But now when there's change, you need to adjust as quick as possible. I mean, for now, they look so distorted. Players can't even pass a 5-meter pass, of which that was like, that was just like easy for them, and it's become difficult, But they need to fix their mindset because now I think the coach might also try to rotate, change, because it has happened in football. When a coach comes in, obviously he will start off with the team that maybe did well the past season. But if he feels like you're not giving me 100%, because the coaches will always compare your performance with your previous coach. But for this coach, you worked hard, you worked your socks off, you backtracked, you did this, you scored goals, and now I'm in charge and you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. So I think there are going to be changes in terms of the Sundowns lineup going forward this season, because maybe the coach feels that, I don't want to be sabotaged by these players, because maybe they don't like my style of play. But I think there'll be changes in terms of that lineup.
Well, I'll make a statement, Cheese, to all the Sundowns fans and all football fans out there. You're basically talking about player power, and I'm not saying you're referring that to the Sundowns team, but maybe you are. But one thing, there's no ways under Pitso Mosimane or Rulani Mokoena would there been any player power. They would stamp that out straight away. I wonder if the current threesome will do the same. There may be repercussions there if that was such a thing as player power there. But I think at the end of the day, sanity will prevail. These guys are playing for a big club. They're well paid. And hopefully this is just a hiccup. But I still say to everybody out there, you write Sundowns off at your club. At the end of the day, whoever's going to win the league has to beat Sundowns. But that's it, guys. Thanks very much. We'll be back soon again with the full team. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share and comment. Your comments are vitally important to us. Cheese. See you again.
Yep. Thank you. One love, SoccerBeat lovers. Kamina Kawen, it's a give and take, guys. Just do what you have to do. Press that button and send those comments, man.
And what we love about you, Cheese, you say it as it is. Like it is. Cheers, man.